Hello, I'm going to be demoing the Warm Audio bus comp on electronic drums. I've been using it since the Neptune album. It's been sitting on the drum bus ever since. And I've tried quite a few variations, and I'm demoing kind of my favorite settings for like electronic and synthwave drums, but it'll work on anything. So I used quite a few settings on different tracks, and I'm demoing kind of what I settled on. So I have a little demo here. It's just like a little loop with just a chord just to show some context with bass and some pads. So let me just play it a little bit. Okay, so here's a drum loop isolated, just got kick and some hats here. Okay, so I've got this routed to the drum bus here, and we have the Warm Audio bus comp set as an external effect. So I'm gonna start it up, and I'm gonna kind of go over the settings, why I landed on some of these, and which ones I kind of leave alone, and then the ones that I tweak per track. So looking at the settings here, I keep the Engage Transformers button on all the time. To me on drums, I think it sounds good. For attack and release, I usually have the release on the slowest setting and the attack, the release on the fastest setting and the attack on the slowest setting. And I sometimes move the attack up a little bit. I'll show what that does. For ratio, I've kind of bounced around. I was kind of staying under 4, but I decided that 10 is actually like where I get the sound I'm looking for, and I'll demo why I think I like 10 the best. And then occasionally I'll move the high pass filter, because the high pass filter really affects the way that it interacts with the kick. I usually start with these settings, and then I'll sometimes tweak it, so I'll demo what happens and then kind of jump back in context as to what the settings I move around usually are. And then also you can tweak like the send gain. Sometimes I have it up a little bit so it comes out of the DAW a little bit louder. But you can always tweak the send and return gains here as well to kind of compensate. So here's typically where I start. So this is at 10 ratio. So I actually compress quite a bit, usually until the needle's hitting somewhere around the middle. I feel like you don't really get the compression sound until you start hitting it pretty hard. So I'm usually sitting around here. So let me kind of tweak around what that sounds, and I'll toggle it on and off. So here you can really hear it. Let me jump back and forth. I just love the way that like pumps and like kind of brings it forward. So here's like in context. It just sounds like bigger. So let me just show what happens if I lower the ratio. So 10 is where I like the sound of it. Okay, and then the one that I sometimes tweak is a high pass filter. So right now it's like really obvious what's happening, but let me turn the high pass filter and you'll see what happens with the kick. So as I pass where like kind of the low of the kick and snare is, it's a little bit more transparent. It still sounds cool, but I think I kind of like it when it hits all of the frequencies, like the sidechain filter is all the way engaged because it sounds more dramatic. I know it sounds cheesy, but I feel like you can hear it more in the mix. It just got that smack. I like it right here. And then let me show what happens when I move the attack. So if you go a little too far, you start getting some potential. Well, right now I have it hitting really hard. You start to hear the low end distort a little bit if you don't have the high pass filter on. I kind of like it there sometimes too, though. So here's in context. Let me compensate for gain a little bit here. So it kind of just depends on the track. But yeah, those are my settings. I usually have it on 10 for ratio, high pass filter usually all the way off, release all the way off, and yeah, the only thing I really tweak is the threshold and the makeup gain. Yeah, but those are the settings that I've been using on my drum bus now.